Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are glad you are here for another great episode. We have again wonderful Mr. Sammy here. We are always honored when he blesses us with his presence. So we're going to give him a round of applause and we're going to have fun today. Today we are going to be talking about family dynamics. Who doesn't have family dynamics? Matter of fact, some have a very interesting family dynamics. We have the wonderful money coach Mary RN and
In the house.
myself. We're going to have fun talking with Sammy. So Sammy, tell us a little bit about yourself before we dive in and dig in.
Oh, a little bit about me. Let's see. I have owned I've owned a construction company for 17 years. Uh, that anniversary was just last month, so
Oh,
whoop, whoop. Uh, been a national speaker for going on 6 years now, but this year, well, last year, about mid last year is when I really said, okay, I'm gonna start really diving more into the speaking. So actually got third place at a speaking competition just last week. So
wow.
excited
Congratulations.
about that. Thank you, thank you. And I am speaking at one of our local high schools tomorrow. So I'm excited about that. Speaking to the leadership uh, kids. So there's supposed to be about 80 kids there. So that's going to be a blast. I love speaking to our young adults. And let's see, I'm a pop of three, a dad of three, and a husband of just one, and that's all I can handle. So,
I love it.
so that's a little bit about me. You know,
So,
I love it.
speaking of family dynamics, you brought a great topic because you do have the dynamics.
oh, I got it all, baby. Where do we want to start? And I'm old school, so that
What
usually,
What do you
you
mean
know,
old school?
well, uh, so my well here this is a good example. My one grandson unfortunately did some stuff today that at school that he shouldn't have done, and he got in some pretty big trouble. So tomorrow he's going to be, after my speaking event, he's going to be hanging out with me, and he will be writing sentences for the whole time.
A man after my own heart. I made my kids write sentences.
Yeah, I made my kids, and now he gets his first taste of it,
Yeah.
and because there's not going to be video games or a phone in your hand or
Nope.
a tablet, or you're not watching TV. No, you screwed up,
Right.
So, and I don't want you to just sit there and look bored. So I'm going to keep you active.
Well, in my opinion, these are the kinds of things you only have to do once. I only had to make my kids write sentences once.
Yeah.
And then when I threatened it the next time, they straightened up.
Oh, I used to do all sorts of fun stuff with the kids. When we lived out on the farm. I'll tell you the funniest one. We lived out on the farm, and there was this huge oak tree way at the back of the property, probably a good acre away. And when the kids would fight, I'd make them hold hands, and they had to run to that tree and back. And I'd sit out there in a lawn chair and I'd say, "Y'all run until I get tired." And they had to hold hands doing it. Well, one day, my oldest son and daughter, they got into it, and I said, "Well, go run." So they went and they ran. They're holding hands, and they're crying, and they're, "Oh, Dad, this is horrible," throwing a fit. And finally they got done. Well, about 2 hours later, we were having a barbecue with like the whole family. Well, their grandma showed up, and she gets out of the car. And, oh, hey, and they give her a hug. And what have y'all been doing today? And they looked at her and they go, "Oh, we'll show you, Grandma." And they grabbed hands and took off skipping to that tree, and they were laughing and just having a good time. I said, "Okay, all righty, that's yeah, okay,
Dad's going to remember this.
yeah, Dad will remember." Yeah, I'm like an elephant. I'll remember. So. But yeah, that kind of old school. I'm not big on the now I'll give you a swat on the butt or something, but not with a belt or,
Right.
the old wooden spoon or anything like that. But,
When I was in grade school at the Catholic school, it was the ruler on the knuckles.
Oh, yeah.
One time.
One time.
One
You
time.
know, when I was a kid, I only had to get one whooping. I mean, a good one. Matter of fact, I knew I was getting a whooping, so I put 8 pairs of pants on. My dad whooped me, nothing. He's like, wait a second. He looks and
Wait
rips
a
all of
second.
them down and then gives it to me bare. Man, I couldn't sit for a week. I was sitting sideways.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But again, one time.
One time. Yep.
Maybe we should go back to that.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things that, it earns respect.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about fear or
Nope.
trying to hurt somebody or anything
Nope.
like that. It's if it's done properly with common sense, you're teaching them respect.
Right.
My grandkids, they come over now here, and I love my daughter and son-in-law. He's okay. But them grandkids, it's like this at their house. They jump on the couch and they eat running all over the house, and they do things over there. The moment they walk in my house, I don't even have to say it. They know you don't jump on my couch. You eat at the table. Like when you're eating, we're not having your phone on or your tablets no, we're here. This time we can visit or we can whatever,
This is family time.
Yeah. And they know that. And it's never been, I've maybe once I've had to tell one of them, hey, he stood up on the couch and I was like, boy, you better sit down.
What?
Oh yeah. And they know, Grandpa, pop up, I got that gruff. Like, oh,
It's like Tim the Tool Man Taylor on Tool Time.
That's right. That's right.
Yep. Yeah, nowadays, kids are just like out of control. In most cases, they run the house.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. They're like, I heard one kid one time, I have more rights than you do.
Yeah.
I was like, what? And when you think about it, they're actually right. Parents are overworked. They're trying to, make a living because nowadays you have to have 2, 3 jobs just to survive.
Right.
So the kids don't really have parents. They pretty much run the place. And then because of that, you can't really touch them because then you'll go to jail. So, I mean, things have gotten crazy.
They have.
Yeah.
If we go back to old school.
Yeah. So I had this discussion here, I don't know, probably a couple months ago. And it was essentially what we're talking about. And this parent was going, hey, I don't know what I can do because I can't physically give them a spanking or force them to write sentences or stand in the corner or I can't physically make them do that because they're ready to call the cops on me. And I said, well, who pays their phone bill?
Right.
Oh, well, I do. I said, well, take away the phone. Well, I can't physically take away the phone. I said, no, you're right. But you can turn it off.
You can turn it off.
Yep.
You can pause service on that phone. Do that. Who do they have a TV in the room? Well, yeah. Take the TV out. Like, dude, there's other ways. I mean, you start taking away stuff and they start listening really quick.
They pay attention. Yes. When my middle child was little, our big thing was when she misbehaved, we make her go face the couch. And you would think we were killing her. She would just wail and sob, and we'd be sitting there laughing. And then she'd turn around and look at us, and then start it all over. I'm like,
is anybody paying attention?
That's exactly what it was. And then so now it's a big joke. You misbehave, you're going to face the couch. Yeah, and she's 25.
Oh yeah. No, well, my oldest daughter, it was funny. And she did it to herself.
Mhm.
Uh, she would, I've never seen anybody in the world do this except her. When she would get mad and frustrated or whatever, she would jump in the air and throw herself on the ground, like back first.
Wow.
I couldn't tell you how many times she knocked the air out of herself.
I guess so.
She would jump and just wham and slam herself on the ground. And I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing? Like, you're a nutbag. What is wrong with you?
Who's her
And
parent?
so she's 34. And when she starts to get an attitude, either me or her mom, if we're around, we'll go, oh, well, what are you going to do? You going to throw yourself in the air? Well, go ahead. Go on. Let's see you do it. You know,
I want to see that now.
oh my God. But I don't know. These kids, it always falls back on the parents. You know, that's just, and we can, Dave said, oh, they got to work at multiple jobs and do this. And I get all that. And it is. But societally, your first objection should be raising your kids.
Mhm.
Are you
Absolutely.
working 3 jobs to literally barely get by because you've overextended your life, your finances?
Yeah.
Or are you working 3 jobs because I'm uneducated, I don't have much of a choice in this right now,
Yeah. Yeah.
this is where my life's at? Hey, I get it.
Right.
But I also get the parents that, I knew a mom of 4 who worked 3 jobs, and those kids, they knew respect.
Mm-hmm.
They knew, like, mama says, you better do,
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And that's the way she raised them.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
My kids teach me about my mom face. Like, you know what? Grown men have pride over this face, so I wouldn't push me. Just saying. I'm putting it right out there.
Hey. Dave, you're up next. I'm out.
Well, the funny thing is, she has the skills of taking you out to bring you back, just to take you out again.
If I want.
I have actually seen her mom face, and I'm not her child. So I'm smart enough not to mess with her. When
Yeah.
I see that face, it's like, oh, I'm sorry.
I try to use it sparingly.
And the funny thing is us dads, we don't have the same face. We can't get as much just with the face. Now, some of us dads, if we reach for our belt, whoo, but just the face, we don't do nothing.
Mine's just a tone. Hey, and
Yep.
they know. Even my kids, all grown adults in their 30s and late 20s, they hear me say, hey. They're like, whoa, what's wrong with dad? What's wrong with him? Like they
Yep.
still,
Yeah, that's the thing with dads. Moms can't do the tone, but moms have the face. Dads have the tone or the belt. If they reach for their belt, you know. So I have to give a shout out to Aaron.
Aaron is in the house.
Who is
Only for
Aaron?
15 minutes.
Aaron is one of our coach friends.
Aaron
Yes.
Chong. Oh.
So one of the things
Aaron.
is I love Aaron being here because he actually took, I'm just going to mention this now because he won't be here long and I wanted to brag about him. So I'm going to do it a little bit early. Aaron took a thing with me as well as Mary, a thing called positive intelligence. And it was such a big impact that I decided to actually become a positive intelligence coach and get certified. I'm in the process of getting certified. So, but Aaron is one of those people that was awesome and loved the course. So, I did have to brag on Aaron while he's here, since he's only going to be here for 15 minutes. And speaking of which, we have a special, and normally I wouldn't do it this early, but for the first 10 clients that come in to do the assessment, which the assessment link is in the description, you're going to get 4 free sessions after the discovery. And that's just so you can experience it, but also so I can get practice. So glad you're here, Aaron. Let's get back into the family dynamics.
Wait, real quick. So tell me just a snippet about this certification, this thing that you and Mary and Aaron went through. Like now I want to hear a little bit more.
Okay.
What is this?
Well, it's
The coaching thing. Tell me more.
It's off of a book called Positive Intelligence, and it's a 6-week course that really helps you control your sabotages and stay in your sage a little bit more. It's very interesting, and it literally helps you to be able to have more peace, feel better, feel safer, feel stronger, and you actually get more done. So after doing the course, I was like, you know what? I want to do this. So I started the process to become a coach. Well, I'm now a coach, but I'm in the process of becoming get my certification. So they have a whole different coaching style than I've been coaching since '97. And this is completely different. I've done ICF coaching, Ramsey coaching. I've also, this is completely different. So I'm just like, oh, I really love it, but I got to practice. So that's why I'm giving the next 10 clients their free sessions so I can get practice before I get certified.
Sammy, I think you'd like it because it deals a lot with mindset.
That's what I was getting ready to ask.
And that's what Sammy does. He does a lot of mindset work. And it does. It talks about how we have saboteurs who come, like your judge and your stickler, and there's nine different ones. And there are exercises you go through that help you work the other side of your brain so that you can quiet the saboteurs down. And then you get to the point, as you get through this program, you get to where you can realize, you can see them coming. You're like, I named mine Lucifer. And he'll start to mess with you. I'm like, no, Lucifer, back down where you belong. And then I'll go through one of the exercises that I learned. And it helps calm my mind.
Now, when she just called him Lucifer, so there's the judge and 9 other sabotages, controlling different things like that. And they teach you to name your judge so you can put him in his place. Like I called mine Big Cheese. Mary called hers Lucifer. Aaron called his a Hawaiian thing. And I can't even
None of us can pronounce.
but we can call it whatever we want. It's basically so we can put the judge in his place. And we do a lot of celebrating. I caught you. But we've earned those judges since we were a kid, and those were our protection. But they're not really helping us. They're actually creating problems.
Yeah.
So it's really phenomenal. So basically, in a nutshell, take a stove, right? The stove, you turn it on, it's hot. You touch the stove, and your nerves panic, and it gives you a burning sensation. It's like a panic gets in there. Get your hand off the stove, right? That's what a sabotage is supposed to be. It's supposed to be your warning to get your hand off the stove. However, we don't do that. We stay there. So the course actually helps you so you can actually get your hand off that stove.
Yeah. Well, that's when you touch a hot stove for the first time, it actually creates a new neurological pathway. So your brain's full of these thousands and millions and billions of pathways. So it creates one. Well, then it per se goes dormant until you go to see a stove that's hot. And then it lights up and it goes, wait, remember that pathway? No, yeah, we don't do that. So, but no, I love this kind of stuff. It's when I speak about that that voice in your head. So I literally just did a sermon on this Sunday, speaking on Matthew 4 verses 1 to 11. I hope I'm not out of turn here. We'll get back to the family thing real quick. But
Sammy, this is your topic.
Oh,
this is whatever you want to talk about for this.
But I'm into the family thing.
Okay, right.
But I'm standing there up there doing this sermon, and it's I forget, it's either verse 9 or verse 10. And Jesus tells the devil, "Go away, devil, go away," and so I tell people, I say, look, when you're dealing with that voice in your head, give it a name, because it's a lot easier to argue with somebody or something that has a name compared to just, oh God, that voice in my head is killing me. Oh, that voice. Give that voice a name. That way you got something to scream at. And the whole deal is I can only imagine, Jesus out in the out in the desert, and I'm sure he didn't go, "Hey devil, go away from me." I can hear him screaming it at him, "Go away from me." And I'm like, that's what you got to do to that voice in your head. You got to speak louder than that voice. Let it know who's in control and who's in charge, and then take charge. So I'm very interested in this, what you guys are talking about. And I will probably
click on that link that's in the description. That link for the sabotage test, it only works for 24 hours.
Oh, okay.
Because I only want the next 10 clients. So it's only going to work for the next 24 hours. So make sure you click it before that.
Okay. Yeah. I will definitely check this out. That's really neat. All right. Back to the family.
Back to family dynamics.
Station break is over.
Now, so Aaron, when he was on the podcast, we actually talked similar, not family dynamics, but it was interesting because we're all talking about families and, the complexity, the mix of the families, and what the families bring in. So one of the questions kind of like come to my mind. Yes, thank you for reminding me on the topic, blended families. But one of the questions that come to my mind on dynamics is, now I know this doesn't pertain to your family because you've got a perfect family and all, but in working with your clients, what is the craziest dynamic you've seen?
With my clients?
Mhm.
As far as their family dynamic?
Yeah.
Because
I know your family's good, you don't have like
Yeah.
crazy,
Yeah, no nut bags in my place. Yeah, that's for sure. Jeez. Well, here, I'll tell you. So, like I won that contest last week, that speaking contest. The guy that won first place was actually a coaching client of mine. And his story was so beautiful. When he walked off stage, I knew that I lost. And I told him that. I said, dude, you just won this contest. Like and he's, and he did. His story is based around what unfortunately so many families go through, especially African American families. And that is, when he was 5 years old, his dad said, "I'm going to go get milk," and never came back. And 22 years later, so he was 27, he was at his aunt's funeral, and his dad was there. And his dad was up by the casket, shaking people's hands as they went by or whatever. And that was the first time in 22 years that he'd seen his dad. And he was ready to leave. And he said it felt like God told him, "No, you've got to face this. You've got to stay here and face this." And so he got in line. And when he got up to shake his dad's hand, his dad asked him, he said, "I'm sorry, I do not recognize you. What's your name?" His own dad said that. And he said, as soon as he said his name, and this was the funny part, if there is any funny parts, He said as soon as he said his name, his dad turned white. And he goes, that's when I knew he knew who I was.
Yeah.
But and he told his dad, he said, look, I didn't come here for anything from you. I haven't needed you for 22 years. And because my heavenly father's always had my back, and that's the only dad I need. And it was like, dang. So to me, that was I've gotten to be really, really good friends with this gentleman, and he talks a lot about that family dynamic of growing up in a home without a dad completely, like no male presence at all.
Mhm.
Whereas I grew up in a home that had the dad there physically, but mentally he was never there.
Mm.
Like my buddy, he can say, well, I've never thrown a ball with my dad or went fishing or camping or hunting. My dad never watched me play football. My dad never watched me do this. And I go, dude, my dad was physically in my house and I've never done any of that stuff. So it's a couple different takes on the same life.
Yeah.
You know, so I hope that answered your question, Dave. I kind of went way around everything there. You'll see that's what I do.
The thing about here, there's no right or wrong answer. We're just talking, right? He's like, save that one. And I mean, we all have situations. I mean, even back in the day, nobody was perfect. We had, like I had a rough childhood, but it developed character. We back in the day were built to be workhorses. And Mary knows I'm a workhorse, but we were developed back then. Now, where's my tablet? Where's my phone? Right? Um, we didn't know what that was. You went outside, you stayed outside until the light came on. And by the way, when the light came on, you better be in the house.
I better not have to come and call you.
So I mean, we didn't have all the luxuries we have now, but we enjoyed ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We also
Yeah.
ate more dirt. We had more fun. I used to be skinny my whole childhood, all up until I
Oh,
got
dude,
older
don't
and
even
started
get me
settling
started
down.
on that.
We weren't afraid to work.
Hmm.
It seems like a lot of the young people nowadays, they don't want to work.
So my explanation for that, with some of my successful friends, who's got a lot of employees, is it's not that they don't want to work, it's that nobody's ever taught them to work.
That's true. That's absolutely true, Sammy.
Going back to where the parents, for whatever reason, they didn't teach their kids to have a work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
Just going to work every day and doing your job is not a work ethic. And it's not something that you can show your kids by like, well, I don't understand why my kid don't work. I mean, he watched me work my whole life. No, he watched you go to a job from 8 till 5.
He watched you leave the house.
That's it.
Didn't know what you were doing.
Yeah.
You said you were working.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are they know?
So that's a lot different than actually going, hey, we're going to do chores. We have stuff that has to get done every day. You're going to help me work on the car. You're going to, nowadays you can't work on a car, but
Right.
like make projects for you and your kid to be a part of and do them together. That teaches so many skills.
Yeah. Well, and that's the key is back in the day, the parents could have one job and they made it, right? So yeah, you seen them go away to work, but then when they came home, you seen them working at home.
Yeah.
So you seen that they were working and they were working,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So you got that ethics. Now they go to work and they come back. Well, I can't do that. I'm overworked. You are doing what? What'd you do? You left the house. Who knows if you didn't go party all day? You know? So they're not seeing nothing. And back in the day, you had to do school. The teachers could actually slap you, crack your hand or whatever they wanted to do. Now the teachers can't do anything. And matter of fact, the classrooms are a mess. So, teachers talk to the parents and the parents don't care. And, it's just a mess all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like they have no training, no skills, no source of real direction.
Yeah.
So it's not their fault. Matter of fact, I know a family that's so the kids literally run over the parents. The parents say something and they don't listen. They run the family. And the kids know more stuff than what they should for their age. Um, and it's just crazy. But you got to work from the parents down. If the parents ain't teaching them properly, how can you expect the kids to do it proper?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then when you try to change it later, it's hard because the kids have been raised up for so long like this, and now you're trying to change, they don't see it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You got to,
Yeah.
and it's hard to say, but you got to start off in the right way. You got to train the right way. You got to move in the right direction so that it works in the right direction.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And use what you can. How do I word this? Use what you can. What you we live in a lazy world. Like
Mm-hmm.
our society has built itself to be lazy. I literally know a gentleman that lives about 2 blocks from me who has not been out of his house in over a year.
Oh my
What?
gosh.
He doesn't need to. He has no
Everything comes
reason to come out of
Amazon.
his house.
Everything comes delivery.
Everything, DoorDash, food delivery, uh, Amazon stuff. Like he literally, and he works from home, and he's actually got a really good paying job. He's on the computer.
I just have one question. How big of a guy is he?
Very big. Yeah.
Because he doesn't get
He's
out to
very,
do any exercises.
yeah.
And I know, like, I was stuck in a wheelchair for a year. My upper body got very strong. My mid body got very fat because it wasn't moving, but I had to, push and all that kind of stuff. So my upper body got very strong. But then my gut got huge, almost doubled in size. So I know if you're not active, it's going to show around your waist.
Oh, yeah. Well, it shows all over him. He's
Yeah.
very unhealthy, And the only reason only reason I know this about him is my daughter lives next door, and he'll open up his windows. Like today's, it got pretty nice down here around St. Louis. I'm sure his windows are open, and if I'm walking my dog, he'll look out the window and he'll be like, "Oh, hey man, I like your dog," and we'll talk there for a little bit. And he's a nice guy. I can't say anything bad about him, but I don't know. A couple months ago, it was like a warm day in November or something. It was right before Thanksgiving. We were talking, and I said, "Dude, I've never seen you come out of that house." And he goes, "Why would I?" He goes, "I haven't been out of this house in a year. Why would I?" And I'm like, "Well, dang, don't you miss being outside?" And he goes, "Nope, I hate people." And I'm like, "Okay, well, honesty, hey, I get it, but that's the world we live in. I mean, it's you know, uh, I could tell you how many times I've ordered DoorDash on one hand. I
Mhm.
could tell you how many times I've ordered on Amazon on one hand. Like I just don't. I don't. If I want something or whatever, I go do it. You know, and but the society, the world we live in says, no, man, just stay at home, binge watch that TV show. You know, look at TikTok for 4 hours, you know,
Yeah.
and
Rabbit holes.
so that's what they do,
Yep.
you know, and they see their parents doing it and they go, well, if they're doing it, you know, like you said, Dave, dad didn't come home from work and go out and I got to work on the barn or I got to work on the car or I got to mow the grass or I got chores that have to be done. Dad comes home and orders DoorDash, sits down in front of the TV and binge watches the show until bedtime.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's funny you say that because, like me, for anybody that knows me, they know I'm a people person. I love people. And people say, "Well, do you know music? Are you gifted in music?" I'm like, some people are gifted in music, and some people are gifted in gab. I'm the latter. Now, however, my brother is the exact opposite. He hates people, and guess what he does? He's out in the hot heat, cleaning pools, repairing pools. He's out there working his butt off. He works harder than most people do. And he always complains when somebody comes out to him, let me do my job, leave me alone.
Well,
But he hates people, so he does a job he doesn't have to deal with them. But he does
yeah,
because again, he was born in the era that you worked your butt off and he works, you know. Um so I mean, I'm a people person, he's not. That doesn't give him no excuse.
yeah.
But some people are like, hey, I'm just gonna chill.
Mary, I'd be
Sometimes the
interested.
world is too people-y. I'm just going to say it.
It's too what?
People.
People-y.
Well, I was just getting ready to ask you, Mary. We've talked, me and Dave talked a lot about from the dad standpoint of it, or the male standpoint of it. What do you see with what the way you were raised with your mom, and now being a mom, and you know what do you see from the female side of all that? How did that work out? Because a lot of times growing up in our per se era, the dad worked, the mom stayed at home,
That's
type
what we
deal.
were. Mom didn't go to work until after Dad died. My aunt got her on at the high school cafeteria where she worked 4 weeks after my dad died, because she said, "You are not going to sit in this house. You're coming to work." And she did. It was probably the best thing that she did.
Mhm.
She did that for a while, and she worked at an insurance company in a mailroom and retired from there. But my mom had an eighth grade education because there was six of them and they needed somebody to help care for the kids. So it was her. And it was my parents were both went through the depression. So we have a whole different spin on a lot of stuff. My sister talks about how my mom was so good with her money. Maybe I get that from her, that she could feed the four of us for a month on $100.
Oh, yeah, I believe it.
But I would challenge you on one thing, Mary, because you said until your dad was gone, she didn't work.
Outside the home.
Right. That's what I was going to say is because the mothers back in the day, they worked hard at home,
Mhm.
laundry, keeping the house up. I mean, they
Yep.
worked hard.
Well, and a lot. I tell my clients that they're like, I didn't learn how to handle this money stuff, and I said, neither did I. We never talked about it when I was growing up. I would have never known if we had money or not.
Yep.
The only thing I knew is that the house was always clean, and we all had clothes. We had clean clothes, and there was food on the table. And I can specifically remember my mom to the point I took my jacket off and was going to throw it on my bed. And in midair, she goes, hang that jacket up. And I thought, woman, what in the world? But I hung my jacket up.
Hmm.
Right. Because while
Nowadays, kids
dad,
just take it off, throw it wherever, and somebody else can
Yeah.
pick it up. Put
Yeah.
their shoes on the table. It's like, what?
No,
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 no, no, there was no shoes, no.
Shoes are either
no.
by the door or in your bedroom.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dad always had the belt, but Mom had a backhand that was pretty good. Yeah.
My mom's thing was I knew I was in trouble when she made me go outside and wait for Dad to come home.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the one time I got the really bad whooping, the reason I knew is because Mom said, "You don't want me to tell your dad," and I dared her. I was like, "You can't tell him nothing." And
Oh,
when I heard her telling him on the phone, I knew when he came home I was dead.
you gonna get it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So I
yeah.
knew a whooping was coming, so that's why I put on a whole bunch of pair of pants. And back then, the jean pants were actually pretty good pants.
Yeah,
You know, they're
they were
not
thick.
like nowadays, they're holey and thin. Back then, they were built.
Mm-hmm.
So 8 pairs of pants, that softened the blow until he realized what I had did and took it all off.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't get those things. Yeah, I tell my kids, I mean, you can't get stuff past us.
Mm-hmm.
No, no, we've seen way
We
too.
have too much experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. I grew up in a house where my mom babysat 22 kids at one time.
Oh,
So I've seen so many different things that kids do. Like it's like, really? Why would you know that those other 5 kids got busted the last 2 days doing that? Why are you doing it? Duh.
Yep.
You know.
And
Oh,
I,
I
I
because I'm
won't
say
do
all the
that.
different.
I say all the time. I mean, back in our days, we got away with murder
Oh, yeah.
because there was no such thing as cameras. And the
Yeah.
places that did, the cameras were so much garbage they didn't catch nothing. So we got away with murder. Nowadays, everybody has phones. Everybody has cameras around. You're not getting away with nothing.
No.
You know, you think you're slick, you're not. Everything has been done in the past. You just have a different
Mm-hmm.
way of doing the same thing. But now
Right.
there's so much evidence that you can't get away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
You know, back in the day, if you stole from a store, if you got away, they didn't know about it.
yeah.
Nowadays, you can get away with the stuff and go back the next day and then get arrested. What? We have videotape of you.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know? So, I mean, they can't get away with nothing nowadays. You know, we got away with murder.
We
Not
did get
literally,
away
but
with
close to it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the stuff we got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That was an evil look. That's cool.
And there's no evidence of any of it.
No. Nope. Nope. Dave, I do got to ask you one question here.
I don't know.
When you go, what was that? Jeez. When where does your pronunciation of the word whooping come from? Tennessee or Michigan?
So
Because
I'm born and raised East Detroit with
okay,
Italian in my roots. My dad was 100% Italian. My mom was 100% Heinz 57. And in case you don't know what that is, that's a little bit of everything.
yep, yep.
Um, so that's where it comes from, is East Detroit.
Detroit, East Detroit whoopings. Okay, yeah, that I could see it being a southern thing. It kind of surprises me that you said it was from Detroit. Figure up that way, it'd be like whoopings. We gonna get us some whooping. No, that'd be more
No, that's
southern. Yeah,
redneck.
that's redneck. Yeah, see, it comes out in me. Dang it.
And
Oh,
so when I was down in Tennessee, um, about 11, 12 years. And when I first was there, they were like, "You ain't from around here, boy, are you?" They didn't respect me because I was a Yankee. And I kept telling them, "I'm not from New York, I'm from Detroit. Anything north of the Mason-Dixon is a Yankee,
yep.
even though I'm not New York." And I fought with them. But anyhow, long story short, they didn't respect me because I was a Yankee. It took me 3 years to earn my keep. Then I had rednecks supporting me, helping me. Like my neighbor, he was a military sharpshooter. He was real good. Anything that came in his yard, he killed and he ate it. Anything he killed. Well, when I was gone, he protected my property. And he was a sharpshooter. A lot of times he stood in the trees and stuff just scoping things out. And if he seen anybody in my property, he'd shoot over that way. If you didn't get off the property, you got shot. You know, And in the South, it's shoot first, ask later. There's no cops. We had
Yeah.
6 cops in our whole county. Life-threatening emergency, they'll be there in about 3-4 hours. So I mean, they took care of their own up there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. I know about that. I know about that. I grew up small town, redneck, farm community. You know, everybody watches everybody.
Yep. I mean, the closest Walmart was a half hour away, 45 minutes.
Yep.
And it
Same.
took me 70 miles to get to Nashville where I worked. I was in the sticks. People say, "Oh, I live in the country," and then I talk about how I lived, and they're like, "Oh, you weren't in the country; you were in the sticks."
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's funny. The first time I met him, he knew I wasn't from there. He's like, "You ain't from around here, are you, boy?" He's like, "Well, I got to tell you about the 5 snakes we have." I was like, "Snakes?" Yeah, 4 of them are poisonous, and 1 you don't touch because they kill the poisonous ones. And I'm like, okay.
Speaking
Up
of
in
whoopings,
Michigan, you
speaking of
can
whoopings,
mess with
I
the
got a
snake.
whooping. I got a whooping one time for killing a black snake. You don't kill those black snakes. What's wrong with you, boy?
Yeah, because they eat the poisonous ones. But the
Yeah.
funny thing is like up here in Michigan, nothing is poisonous. You can take any snake, throw it around, play with it, do whatever you want. They don't hurt you.
Mm.
Down in Tennessee, they don't play. Now, there's one black snake you kill, and there's one black snake you don't touch. The short black snake, you kill it quickly. Those are the water moccasins.
Yeah.
But the long black snakes, you leave them alone because they will eat the poisonous.
Yeah.
I just stay. I don't touch any of them. I'm just saying.
But in Tennessee, I don't touch any of them either.
We
I
had
don't touch them anywhere.
we had about a 9-foot black snake there. We left in our. We found him. He was wrapped up in one of the tree stumps. And so me and my cousin, we pulled him out. We measured him. He was 9 foot. And my cousin, he wanted to kill him. He goes, "Oh man, look, come on, look, cut him up." I said, "Heck no, man. We will leave this snake." I said, "This is good for the yard," because we lived out in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, we ended up letting that thing go. But oh yeah, that thing was huge. That was
Yeah.
big,
The big snake.
big snake.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
get big.
No.
But the bigger they are, the better they are for you.
Yeah.
The more critters they eat.
Yeah, just don't leave your dogs or nothing out if you got little dogs. They'll eat
Yeah,
them too.
because they don't eat the small critters. They eat the big ones.
Oh yeah, yeah. Got to get a good meal.
Yeah.
You know.
And, so, hey, when we're talking about family dynamics, we go all over the place, don't we?
Yeah.
Snakes, country.
That's the way family dynamics usually works. It's
Right.
all over the place.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, if the family's all over the place, so is the dynamic, right?
Man, I tell you,
And I mean, just like when Aaron was here, we talked about blended families. I mean, there is no such thing as a normal family. You're taking 2 people typically opposites attract because it wouldn't be no fun if you dated somebody like you. So you usually date the opposites, and when you got opposites, it really brings in a dynamic. I mean, shucks, my family, an Italian and a Heinz 57. What?
Mhm.
My brother, and then you want to mix another one in. So we had an Italian. Then my brother has the same mother but different dad. So then you have a Cherokee Indian. That makes even a stranger mix. You got an Italian and a Cherokee.
I don't know. I know me and my wife, we couldn't be more opposites if you wanted us to be. Like, like literally, I don't know that there's anything that we ever go, "Oh yeah, let's both we agree, let's do that." No, it just and it works. Like you said, it works for us. I mean, we're very. I think the blend as far as being opposite, it really can only work if you have a good communication.
That is so key. That is so
Yeah.
key.
So that's like she's a homebody. She'd stay at home. She loved the whole COVID lockdown. She just thought that was the best thing in the world, man. Oh, cool. I don't have to go outside. Her and that old boy down a couple blocks away, they'd get along great. Just leave me in the house.
The funny
And no,
thing
my
is,
wife's not big like that guy.
when the
But,
COVID thing came down, I was actually working a job that was a essential business. So I was still out leaving my house, going to work during the COVID.
oh, yeah, me
And
too.
each job, I had to get another job so I can get another paper, just so I have those papers, because the one was very strict, was like only when you're coming to work can you leave your house. So I had to get another essential service just so I can get a paper that said I can go anywhere. But if you didn't have that paper, you got caught out, you got in trouble. I didn't want to stay at home.
Now, was that a Michigan thing?
It was a Tennessee thing.
Oh, that was a Tennessee thing. Okay. See, I know myself in Missouri here, we didn't need no paper.
Just
Yeah,
need
so
masked up.
if you got pulled over, you didn't have a paper that says you were working for a non-essential, then you could get a ticket for being out when you were supposed to be at home.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
my God. Yeah, that's a different topic. Our government's all screwed up. But anyway, on to the next subject. What are we talking about?
That could be the next one when you come back, Sammy.
Oh boy, we better make it more than an hour.
We could.
Well, speaking
It
of
would be
which,
part 1, part 2, part 3, part next.
yep. Speaking of which, this topic has been awesome. We have gone all over the place, as most family dynamics does. So it is always great to be talking about these kind of topics where, we never know where we're going to go. It's live, it's raw, it's unscripted. You never know. You just got to come and check it out. Speaking of which, we are working on a new podcast. This one will not go away, but once a month, we're going to have debates. That's going to be on Fire and Live. So stay tuned for that. We're working the details out now, and then we're going to get the first topic. So we're shooting for in about 2 months to have the first episode, and you won't want to miss it. So it's going to be off the hook, off the chain. We do have a free community on Fridays. This is for where we just chill and have fun and just chit chat. By the way, in the description below, there is a link for our public calendar, which will show you all the events that we're doing that you can check out. Gives you all the different ones. Right now, we have one on Mondays, Financial Breakthrough. It's the foundations that gives you a crash course on how to manage your money. So it's phenomenal. And so that's the whole month of March. And then in April, we're going to be doing something else that's going to be awesome. And that's all on the calendar. So you'll be able to check all that out. And it's in the link in the description below. Um, we also have an awesome, for a lot of, I'm just going to say it, Ramsey coaches out there. Um, they use a CRM and it's going away. Preferred coach status is going away. I think it's the middle of the year. And so a lot of them are scrambling of where to go. Well, we use a platform and we actually charge less than what the platform charges because we want to make it as best as possible for those Ramsey coaches. It's an all in one, it has everything. Posting on social
Wonderful.
medias, keeping track of all your clients, doing everything. It's a one stop shop, has your calendar, everything. And so the link of the description of that is in the link for that is in the description below. Now I know, Sammy, you have some phenomenal information. Tell us about yourself.
Well, real quick, the whole debate thing just totally blew my mind. I think that's going to be awesome and amazing. That being said, I have a topic for you guys.
Okay.
And I even have one participant for sure. You'll have to find the other one. Is Bigfoot real or not? My wife is the biggest Bigfoot nerd you'll ever meet. She wants to go on a Bigfoot hunt, like the whole thing. Like I said,
So
we're
your
opposite.
wife would be the guest, and she says there is a Bigfoot, so I have to find somebody that is not Bigfoot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Wait, come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Just poke your head over here. All right, y'all ready?
Yeah.
Hey, honey,
Yes.
is Bigfoot real or not?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Just so
Yes.
you know, Mrs. Sammy,
This is
we're
Jerry.
working on a debate podcast. It'll happen once a month. We have
Oh.
a topic, Bigfoot real or not. Would you debate that he is real if we find somebody that says he is not?
Yes.
Okay. I
That'd
will
be
keep that in mind.
interesting.
I will keep in touch with you, Sammy, and we're going to get her on for that.
There you go, dear. I'm gonna make you Bigfoot famous.
Okay.
You'll get your trip to Oklahoma. You can go find Sasquatch. You can go find him. That's right. She's such a nerd. I love you.
The funny thing is, both Mary and myself, we are high class nerds.
There you go.
We are very detailed oriented. That's the type of personalities we are. So you must be the free spirit, Sammy.
Oh, I'm very free. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, yeah. Nope, no Bigfoot here. I told her I'd go on the hunt with her, but
Well,
I'm
that's because
still,
you're a loving husband.
The
yeah,
things you do for love.
that's
That's
it. For
right.
me, I'm just looking at a camping trip. So I'm like, yeah, I'm
Right.
in.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's cool. You got to bang on the trees and squawk and all that. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. No,
Nah.
no,
Mm-mm.
not
Nope.
doing that.
I'll go
Set the
fishing.
fire, I'll keep the campfire going, and I'll cook the meals, and you do all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So tell us what you have coming for us, Sammy.
Well, we just wrapped up my new website. So I'm super excited about that. That is sammyspeaks.live, and I'm pretty sure Dave put a link there in the description.
Yep, it's in the description.
So would love people to go check out this new website. Let me know if I think all the kinks are out of it, but if there's still a kink, let me know, so super excited about that. And
So
I'm
tell us
actually
about the website.
the website. The website is my speaker website. You can go on there and set up a 15 or 30-minute call just to, let me know what's going on in your life, how I can help you, whether it's business or just you're in a funk and you need some help, which seems to be most of the people that call me is they're just dealing with something and hey, I don't know how to get out. I don't know how to get out of my own way,
Mhm.
So I do a lot of help with that, with coaching and different things. But yeah, you can go on there and look at how to hire me to speak at your event. If you've got an event coming up that you're looking for a speaker, my main topics are how to man, my brain just went blank. Oh wait, it's called procrastination. Uh, my main topics are procrastination, how to move through procrastination, which I bet neither one of you ever procrastinate anything, so you
No.
definitely don't need no help. So I do
Smart.
a talk about that.
You're one of my coaches, Sammy. You know what I do.
We'll talk about that later there, Mary.
Okay.
We'll put it off till tomorrow. It's okay. And then two, I do speak to veterans and veteran groups and different things like that. And it's called Mission After the Mission. The reality is our service members get out of their branch of service, thrown out into a world that is essentially chaotic compared to what they just came from.
Mhm.
And what most of these men and women lose is their mission.
Mhm.
So let's help them find a new mission and a new reason to not become one of the 22 a day.
Yeah, no
you know?
kidding.
So that's near and dear to my heart. So I'm always looking for veterans organizations and stuff to go and speak to and motivate and help them find a new mission.
Nice.
So that is the website.
I love
And
it.
you'll find, blurbs on there and different things
Mhm.
like that. And people
And
lying and
Sammy,
saying I did a
are
good
you
job.
on Alignable?
I am. I just got on there not long ago, and it's because of Mary, old money coach Mary. that I got on there. And I actually have made quite a few connections. I haven't been on in the last 3 weeks just because I've been doing some painting stuff. But yeah, it seems pretty alignable. I think is alignable will be what you make of it. If you get on there and you work it and you make connections and you follow up, and it's a business.
Agreed.
You know.
Well, if you let me get you connected with somebody. I know a guy named Dennis. You have to talk to him.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think he's right up your alley. He is military, and so needing connections on where to speak for military brats.
Yeah. 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 Nope, that'd be good. And yeah, no, that's pretty much it about me. You know, I am excited. I'm speaking at a local high school tomorrow for a leadership group, the leadership, kids, and I'm very excited about that. Just because it's something that I haven't done. I've spoken to some young adult groups, but to actually go into a high school and talk to these kids about business and success and what that really means and what it looks like. I'm very excited about that, and so I'm really hoping that kind of goes somewhere because I would love to go into different high schools and colleges or whatever, and just I'm known as the guy that will keep it real for you, so I don't really fluff too much. Um, the second thing that I talk about, like in this talk tomorrow, is allowing yourself to suck. And the teacher was like, "Oh, is that the way you're going to word it?" And I said, "Well, yeah, because that's the way it is. It sucks.
Right.
You suck, and it's okay that you suck, and that's life."
Yep.
You
And
know.
I have to give you props, Sammy. And we had you on this podcast the very first time was shortly after Mary started being on the podcast. We were Real Talk at the Round Table, and William used to do it. He stepped down, Mary took over, and shortly after Mary took over, you came on the podcast. You were the
I know
inspiration
people.
that changed Real Talk around at the Round Table to Breaking Chains and Taking Names. We also switched to LIVEcast versus podcast. However, we are now on Spotify. We're delayed on Spotify. So
Yeah.
we're live on YouTube, and then later it shows up on Spotify. So now we can go back to podcast as well. So we're LIVEcast podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but you were the inspiration that got Mary and myself to search for a new name.
Yeah. No, I tell you, I love doing that. I love to help however I can. If I see something, that I can give information on, I really I don't like to tell people what to do. I just like to go, hey, here's what I see that you could fix. So I give information, and if somebody takes it, great. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't, but no, I appreciate that. I think y'all have got a really cool thing here, and and I love how you're getting ready to mix it up even more with the debate thing. That can't wait for the Bigfoot one, but
Let you know.
it's y'all have got some great ideas, and you're doing a good thing here. So for me, it's just like, how can I help support my friends? And my buddy Craig, Mary knows my friend Craig. He did a video a couple weeks ago because he had come to me about some advice, and I gave him some pretty hard truths. And he actually ended up doing a video about it. And he said, everybody needs a Sammy. And Sammy is somebody that will tell you that he loves you, and then he will just destroy your whole world.
Yep.
But understand, he's doing that from a place of love.
Yep. Yep.
So,
Well, guys, so I do have to say, well, I know actually I'm going to do that in a minute. I do have to say, guys, make sure you check out Sammy's website. After all, it is a new site and he wants your feedback. So check it out. Make sure you get in contact with Sammy because he is phenomenal. He's off the hook, he's off the chain. He's going to rock your world into a better destiny. So make sure you get a hold of Sammy. And Mary, did you have any final comments?
Sammy, thank you so much again for coming on short notice. And I love that I got my technology figured out this time because the last time you were on, it was not that.
it's all right. You snubbed me, but that's cool.
She did watch the recording.
Yeah.
It's just not the same of being there, you know. And
It is not. It is not.
so
Oh,
that's
yeah.
why you guys have to show up because it's phenomenal. So we had 13 people that was here, but we had pretty much 5 people most of the time at one time. But
Yeah.
we had 13 different unique viewers.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice.
So any final words, Sammy?
Oh, let's see here. Answer this question. I'm going to ask this question. This is what I'm speaking on tomorrow, but it applies to everybody. What do you want to be when you grow up? Think
I
about
want to be
that.
a Toys R Us kid.
There you go.
I don't want to grow up.
That's the great answer. That's actually how I end the whole speaking event. That's exactly what I say. I hope I never grow up.
Hmm.
You know, so, it's one to think on.
Yep. Well, on that note, we'll see everybody the same time next week. Make sure you show up, interactive the whole entire time. Ask your questions. We go right on live, and occasionally we even bring the people on video.
Mm-hmm.
There we
So
go.
we'll see you next time.
Good night, y'all.
Thanks, guys. See you later.